Okay, you guys, I'm about to go a little unorthodox today on you guys. T Nizzle. I'm finna show you guys how to make chicken stovetop stuffing. That's right, chicken stovetop stuffing. Anyway, first thing you have to do is make sure that your kitchen is clean. Kitchen has to be clean. That's my pot for the stuffing. Once it's time for me to start cooking. That's my seasoning and everything that I need. I already have it already out. All right. And that's my chicken. My choice today of chicken will be chicken legs. Do you see how small the chicken legs are? Matter of fact, anytime I buy chicken, I want to make sure that they're small pieces, not those big pieces, because y'all know and I know they be injected. But anyway, y'all see the chicken that's unthawing in the water? All right, first thing I have to do is wash my hands. You have to wash your hands. Y'all got it? I was going to edit that out, but I want y'all to see me actually, you know what I'm saying, adjusting the camera and all those type of things. All right, first thing we want to do is wash our hands. Wash your hands real good, because we have to be clean, you guys. And for y'all ladies up north, this is what we do down south. Our moms teach us and taught us how to cook. Just in case you ladies want to be lazy and don't want to cook us something and get attitude just because we ask you, can you cook us something? So fellas up north or wherever, if you don't know how to cook, then guess what? You're in bad shape. My mom always taught me, bless her soul, son, make sure you learn how to cook. That way you don't have to depend on a woman. When you're hungry, you ready to fix your own food. So the first thing I'm going to do is wash my hands. You have to be clean, you guys. I'm not going to just eat out of anybody's kitchen. You have to be clean. So after I wash my hands, right, I'm going to go to the chicken. Like I was telling you guys, the chicken has unthawed. Y'all see it? It's little small pieces of chicken, little drumettes. You know, I always take this piece off of the chicken for some odd reason. I think in my mind that it's fat. So I always, first of all, I take this off the chicken, as y'all can see it. I take those off of my drumettes. Once I take all that off of my drumettes, then I gotta wash my chicken thoroughly. When I say wash the chicken, I don't mean soap and water, but I mean keep it in the water and make sure that you wash it clean. I'm gonna show you guys that in a few seconds. So I go ahead and pull these pieces off the chicken first, as I said earlier. Pull those pieces off the chicken. Hey, Martha Stewart, Snoop Dogg, hope you guys are watching. Hope I can join you guys one day to show y'all one of my hood style setups. You know, down south setup. So I pull this off of the chicken. Once I get all of that off the chicken, right? Pull these off the chicken. I mean, you guys, y'all don't necessarily have to pull this off the chicken. Like I said earlier, to me, in my mind, it's like fat. And when I cook my chicken, I make sure that my chicken or whatever I cook is done. Not looking pretty, you guys. Like some women cook and say, ooh, ain't that so pretty? But the thing is it done? So now that I got all the little fat pieces off my little drumettes, as y'all can see, all the little fat is off my drumettes. I had this chicken unthawing in cold water. So anytime you take chicken out of the freezer, you want to put it in cold water. It will defrost quicker. And this is what I mean by washing the chicken. You see what I'm doing? How I'm taking it through the water. And I'm doing it like that. You see the water getting a little cloudy. You know, that's cleaning the chicken. You see? We don't want to eat nothing that's unclean. That's uncivilized. Do y'all understand? And my chicken of choice today, like I said, was little small drumettes. Little small drumettes. You know, I can use wings, thighs, legs, not breasts. One of my favorite pieces of chicken is the thigh. Thighs are juicier and has plenty of meat on them. So yeah, so once I clean my chicken, you got to clean your chicken good. Once I clean my chicken, I drain the water off. And anytime you're cleaning with chicken, anytime you're cooking with chicken, and you clean up, make sure you use Clorox, a little Clorox in the water. So what I would do, I would stop the sink up, put about that much water in the sink, with about 2 caps. It's the thigh. Thighs are juicier and has plenty of meat on them. So yeah, so once I clean my chicken, you got to clean your chicken good. Once I clean my chicken, I drain the water off. And anytime you're cleaning with chicken, anytime you're cooking with chicken, and you clean up, make sure you use Clorox, a little Clorox in the water. So what I would do, I would stop the sink up, put about that much water in the sink, with about 2 caps of Clorox. And I'll take my rag and clean everything down from salmonella. So all right, y'all see the chicken? I'm gonna run some more water over the chicken. Run water over the chicken. Chicken look almost clean. It don't have that yellow stuff on it. You know, when you clean your chicken, you want to make sure it doesn't have the yellow stuff on it. The yellow stuff, you know, usually be on the skin, but just so happens it's not on this batch of chicken. So once I clean it real good, you guys, turn off the water. Let all the water drain. Put my chicken together like you guys see here. Y'all see that? Then I go and get my seasoning. One thing about my seasoning, this is not just natural seasonings by itself. What I do is I get like 6 different seasonings and I put it in a bowl and I mix them up real good and I put them back in the containers. So I actually have 6 different seasons in here, you guys, versus me just using each season one by one. So as y'all guys can see, you know, it's lots of seasonings in there, you see? But anyway, I use 6 different seasonings at one time. So what I would do, I would go ahead and sprinkle the seasoning over my chicken. See that? Sprinkle the seasoning over my chicken. You know, then I mix it up to make sure my seasoning is all over my chicken real good. Season it some more. I know what some of you might say. Oh, that's going to be too salty. You use too much seasoning. No, I'm not. I don't have no salt in my seasoning. Then I'm going to get me a pan. You know, even though this pan is a little bigger than the little bit of chicken that I'm cooking, but this is the pan that I have. If I had one a little smaller, I would have used the one that was smaller. But I'm going to go ahead and work with what I got. So I'm going to spread my chicken out. Whether it was legs, thighs, or whatever. I wash them, everything the same. But if it was the thighs, I take all my skin off the thighs. All the skin off the thighs. And I get all the slimy stuff off the thighs as good as I can. And wash them thoroughly like I just showed you guys when I washed this chicken here. Now, once I put my chicken here, right, as y'all can see, I set my stove to 350 degrees. Yes, 350 degrees. And I set it for 2 hours. Once I set my stove on 350 degrees and I set my time on 2 hours. I know some of you guys are saying 2 hours is too long. Not necessarily. Because see, the way that I'm going to cook the chicken, you know, I'm going to add water to the chicken. Anytime you do any type of baking, you want to add water. And that make it more juicier, more tender. It comes off the bone more easier. So as you guys can see, I got a light layer of water at the bottom of the chicken. And I know you're probably saying, well, don't the water take away the seasoning? It does. But one thing I'm going to keep doing is flipping it and adding season. I probably do that like 2 or 3 times. I come check the chicken like every 15 minutes because you know the water will evaporate. So you got to get water and pour water in from the corner. You got to keep adding water like every 15 minutes. So now I'm going to take my chicken and I'm going to place it in my oven. Take my chicken and I'm going to place it in my oven. Once I place it in my oven, I close the oven and I let that cook, like I said, on 350 degrees for 2 hours. And I'm going to make sure you guys keep coming back to watch how I keep turning the chicken and seasoning the chicken. And I know some of you naysayers will be like, oh, he got too much seasoning on the chicken. No, I will not. You know, you season it according to how you have to season it. But one thing about adding water, that water is going to soak through the chicken as it evaporates. And as I keep flipping the chicken, you know what I'm saying, and keep sprinkling more seasoning on it, it's going to be mwah, delicious. Do you understand what I'm saying? And again, once I put it in the oven, I still put a little more seasoning on it, just a light layer over it. Not too much, but a light layer, because you got to remember, I do have water on it. Yes, I'm going to do this live, keep back and forth with the camera, you know. But anyway, yes, you want to put a little light layer over it, and know you're not putting too much, because the key is you're cooking with water. So there's my chicken that's in my oven. I placed it on the bottom rack. You guys can place it on whichever rack you want, because it's still going to be under 350 degrees. So you go ahead and push your chicken on in. Actually, guys, it has been 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes. I suppose I've been checking it every 15, but you know, I didn't hurt anything. So I'm finna come check my chicken. Take the glasses off. You know, I'm finna come and check my chicken. I'll get me a fork. Get me a fork so I can pull the tray out. And as y'all can see, the water is evaporating. And yes, I see how y'all looking at the chicken. No, it's not done yet. I'm about to add some more water to it. That's the seasoning that you see, the browning on the pan. And to you guys earlier, while I was washing the chicken, I did have some water in the sink with a rag, and I was washing down everything as I go. So to the ones that were saying, was he washing his hands? I know he was touching the chicken. But yeah, not only I washed my hands, but I was also washing around everything as I go. You gotta keep everything clean. So now that y'all see the chicken, right? So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna turn the water on and make sure I get me some warm water instead of cold, because the chicken in the oven is hot. So I'm gonna use warm water, either hot water, turn it down some. Very simple, you guys. Thanks for coming today to T. Mills' Kitchen. So all right, the water is warm. And you know why I got the oven open, it's losing temperature. So I make sure that my water is warm. I fill the cup up to about here with the warm water, right? And then I take the water and I pour it on the corner. It doesn't matter which corner you pour it on. You can pour it on any corner. The brown that you see over here is nothing but the seasoning. The pan is not rusted. So I pour the water on. Make sure that is a light layer of water. I know you're probably saying, oh, all that water you got. Whatever. Listen, I know what I'm doing. So now I'm going to turn my chicken. Yes, I'm going to turn it. And you notice earlier, this is the side that I had seasoned. You see it was brown? It was almost cooked, so by me turning it down in the water, and when I season it again, I'm also seasoning the water. So that way that the chicken is not only just cooking, it also cooking in the seasoning water. So I turn each one of them. Turn each one of them over. And if you want to cook steak, you do the exact same thing. Add water to your steak. That way it won't be so tough and chewy, you know. This was actually 20 minutes after it was in the oven for about on 350 degrees. Turn them over. Once I have them all over, and the reason why I got them on this side of the pan is because some reason the water always evaporates out of this side first. So I keep it over here because this way the water ends up before it actually evaporates out. Next, I get some more of my seasoning. Remember, I have 6 seasonings in here. So I sprinkle it over here. A little bit in the water. And the reason why I sprinkle in the water, because you know when you turn the chicken over into the water, the season's gonna dissolve. So I put more season over it. Y'all see that? Then I push it back in. And trust me, it's gonna be delicious. To you naysayers, I'm gonna make you out of believers in a minute. Just keep on watching. T. Nizzle. Once again, I'm coming to check. 15 minutes, same thing. Come, pull my chicken out. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, the water somehow always evaporate from this area and always come down here. So now, only thing I'm doing, I'm just gonna turn the chicken. I'm just gonna turn it. It's been cooking now for an hour and 20 minutes. Got 40 more minutes. Remember I said I do it for 2 hours. So I turn the chicken again in the water. And remember, now I don't have to do no seasoning because all the seasoning is in the water. I might have to add a little water, but I don't have to add no more seasoning. And now that the chicken is almost done, about 40 minutes down until it's done, I'm just turning it over again. This is actually the 3rd time I'm turning it. Second time I didn't record, but this is actually the 3rd time that I'm turning it. Now I'm gonna add some more water. Add some more water. Make the video raw so y'all can see me changing the camera and everything. Add some more water. Remember, warm water. So now I'm gonna add half a cup to about here. Half a cup. Now remember, when I add the water, I put it on the corners. But this time I'm gonna put it. This time I'm gonna actually put it in front of the chicken. The brown stuff is the seasoning. So I want that to get back down to the chicken. Chicken is almost done, you guys, as you can see. Push the chicken back in. That water evaporates kind of fast. Still got my oven. Y'all see it? On 350. We got 55 more minutes left. Now, I went ahead and put some water in the pot to get my stovetop stuffing ready. But I'm only get that ready once my chicken is almost about done. And the way that I'm gonna cook this, the chicken and stovetop, is actually on the side of the box here. If you look here, it teaches how to do other recipes with the stovetop. So when you want to do just chicken yourself with the stovetop, you want to look at the directions here. And all it's basically saying is, you know, you're going to need some water. By it just being one box, a pot about this size, I probably put about this much water in the pot. Then I'm going to grab me some margarine. I'm going to grab me some margarine. Get me 2 spoons of margarine. And I know what you calorie haters are saying. Oh, that butter. Well, we still got to eat. Well, anyway, I'm going to do about 2 spoons of margarine. About 2 spoons of margarine in the pot. Here's my second spoon. So I got that in the water. And when I'm ready to start my stove top, I bring the water to a boil. I'm gonna bring the water to a boil. And once I bring the water to a boil, then I add the stovetop stuffing. And you just gently stir it through until you see where the water done evaporated out. And then I just take the stovetop and pour it over the chicken. And you guys will see that in a minute. You want to let your water come to a boil. As you can see, as your water come to a boil, you go ahead and open up the stovetop and pour it in. Pour it in. Y'all see it? Get you a nice spoon. And again, you notice I had half of water in it. Not half here, but around in this area because it's just one box. So you don't want a whole lot of water. You don't want it too mushy, but you want it around this area here. So then you just go on ahead and have it come to a boil. You just stir it a little bit. Stir it. It mostly cooks on its own. Let's see how that chicken coming along. Because once the water evaporate out of there, then we're going to pour it over the chicken. Look at that. Look at that. Let's see. See how that chicken look, you guys? And trust me, it's good and juicy. That's nothing but the seasoning over here. The pan is not rusty. Y'all saw it in the beginning. So what am I going to do? I'm going to spread these out a little bit. It's about the 4th time I turned them. They're actually done and juicy. I'm not going to add any more water because I don't have to. Turn them all again so that can brown. Just a little water in the pan. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually pour the stovetop once it's done over top of the chicken. So I'm not going to put no water or anything on it now. You see that? Let that brown a little more. While that's browning a little more, my stove top is coming to a boil. That's what you want. You want to just stir it. You're going to let most of this water evaporate. Last but not least, chicken is ready. I'm going to pour that chicken out. I'm going to pour that chicken out. Slide it over a little bit. Like I say, all that is the seasoning. I'm just going to pour my stovetop over my chicken. See my stovetop is cooking? Yeah, it look a little soupy, but you want a little bit of water over it like you see now. And then you're going to pour this over your chicken. You're going to put that over your chicken. And you want the juice on it because that's going to dissolve. And again, this is a big pan. This is a big pan. So I'm not worrying about all the juice that you guys see. because a lot of that is gonna evaporate. Now that I got that like that, now I'm gonna push it back in the oven and let it brown some. Now I'm gonna let that brown some. And here's my finished product. Stovetop stuffing with chicken. Now, don't worry about this side. All that is seasoning like I was telling you guys earlier. And it wasn't a whole big pan for me to have it all the way across because, hey, basically I'm eating this myself. Now, as I dig into it, I can make my plate. You know, you want it a little moist. You don't want your stovetop all dry. You want it moist. See, it's moist and delicious. Look at that. Look at that. And there you have it, guys. Dave Chappelle, I know you said that. You stayed at your friend's house for stovetop stuffing. And you guys, that is my finished product, stovetop stuffing. Thank you guys for joining me again. T Nizzle. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe button. And thanks for being in T Nizzle's kitchen. Now let me show you guys how tender that chicken is from cooking it with water. Watch this. Barely touching it. Look at that. Look at there. Look at there. How it just falls off the bone. See that? That's what cooking with water does. It have it so moist. Chicken and stovetop, you guys. Chicken and stovetop. Very good. Very delicious. Thank you guys for being in T Nizzle's kitchen. Over and out. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look how the chicken just falling off the bone. That's because I was cooking it with water. Yeah.